Okay guys, welcome back to another installment of Premium Blu-rays watch list. A couple of weeks it's been since my last one, so apologies for that, but I'm back sort of part-time working. I'm a procrastinator and so on and so forth, so that's the reason for my delay. Got 10 films to get through, so I'm probably thinking we're going to get 2 videos here, we'll see. So we're going to try and get through at least 5 per video. I have films this week, a couple from China, a couple of classics that I shouldn't have seen.
Should have seen, David, should have seen.
A Korean film, a Rewatch, a Japanese film, a film from 2020, and a wuxia film. What's missing this week is France, so apologies to the French for that, but we'll correct that next week. So hope you've all been well, staying safe, and let's just get right to it. So off to China for our first movie selection, Suzhou River from year 2000. Hers from Touch of Film was bang on about this movie for a good week or so because it was available online as part of a Chinese cinema season. Don't think it's available now, unfortunately, but I jumped upon it because it was getting some rave reviews, and yep, just looked like it was my bag. And oh my word, it absolutely was. Thank you very much for the recommendation. An absolutely dazzling film with so many elements that I love. A really great love story or love stories therein. Beautiful technical brilliance, lots of POV shots, and a real sense of kind of guerrilla style filmmaking from the director Liu Yi, who I'd never heard of, so I was really pleased to be introduced to him. And it was just kind of one of those films that combined lots of kind of showy editing, flashy camera work, really cool photography as well, and great performances from the cast, but a really, really engaging story. And I think it's so rare for I find for films to be able to have all those elements in the Western cinema, but in the East, in China, Japan, Korea, they make more China, I would say, than anywhere else. They pull it off. There's so many Chinese films that seem to be able to blend and mix those two elements of technical brilliance and great storytelling. And that is always a film that will appeal to me and that I'll love. And I think that what I also liked about this film is that it mixed a kind of melancholy drama or melancholy tinge to the film throughout. So it wasn't dark, but it was certainly one of those films that you never really knew where it was going. You never really knew whether it's going to end up as a happy ending. It's just wonderful, a wonderful film. Thoroughly recommend it. I mean, hopefully it will get a physical release or will be available for streaming sometime in the future. 100% would recommend this film from the year 2000. My second film is a classic that I should have seen that I haven't seen. Smack my wrists. Kieslowski's The Double Life of Veronique from 1991, starring Irene Jacob. I got the Criterion of this. So I was expecting a fabulous transfer. It's exactly what I got. Criterion transfers are unreal. Almost look like they're 4K. Even the old films that are restored look like they're in 4K on my TV anyway, so I'm very fortunate. I honestly can't think of a more beautifully shot film than this one. I really can't. I'm sure there is one, but I cannot think of one right now. Possibly Kieslowski's Three Colours Blue, of course. But this guy is an absolute master. I haven't seen enough of his films. I've only really seen the Red, White and Blue trilogy, to be honest. I think I've seen a couple of his other films, but why I haven't seen this one before, I have absolutely no idea. But that's the beauty of film, when you suddenly realise that you haven't seen a classic, and you get hold of it and you enjoy it, you love it. I mean, the story I felt was a bit lumbered at times. It was one of those stories that did unravel quite beautifully, and there were times when I didn't quite connect the dots, and you know, I wasn't quite sure where we were, but it all kind of came together at the end. And you know, he just made Irene Jacob look incredible. I mean, she's a lovely looking lady, I know, but he just bathed her in beautiful light, and you know, the shots were just unreal. I mean, you need to watch this film just for the cinematography, if nothing else. But it is a really good story. It's a story about a woman who has a doppelganger and how they connect. And as I said, I never do plot in my reviews, but if you want some kind of quick synopsis, that's where the film heads in that direction. It is an art film, very arty film, a very, you know, it's a film that won't be for everyone, but if you do like beautifully shot, fascinating films with kind of a little bit complex and hard to get your teeth into, they're a bit challenging, then this will be for you. I'm sure actually most of the people watching this channel would have already seen it, so again, my apologies, but it reinforced my the notion that Kieslowski is a real master of the art form. There is no one like him, I don't think. Yeah, it was just a wonderful film. I've just realised that I said at the beginning of the video that I didn't see any French films this week. I guess this could be classed as French. I always see it as Polish, but of course it's Polish French. So yeah, that's a two of the price of one there. That's great. But yeah, please, if you're going to watch it, try and watch the Criterion as well. The transfer is unbelievable. So my selection for my 2019 film, not that I have any choice, by the way, it just comes up on my algorithm, was Casey Affleck's Light of My Life, which I bought quite a while back actually, Region A Blu-ray with a nice little slip there. I've always been a big Casey Affleck fan. I love his understated performances in Jesse James, Assassination, and also obviously Manchester by the Sea. This wasn't a film that I was actually looking forward to be honest, because I looked at the plot synopsis and it's about a post-apocalyptic world where a father and a daughter are alone and trying to survive in the wilderness, in a world where women have been wiped out by a plague, and you kind of know what's going to happen all the way through the film. There's a lot of nice, you know, father-daughter moments, but you know danger's coming and you kind of see where the film's going. So there's no real surprises, no real fabulous dialogue really. Again, you know, Casey Affleck is the king of understatement, and you know, the star of this film really is the score, fantastic score, and the cinematography. It's a little bit like watching Leave No Trace, which is beautiful to look at. I think Leave No Trace had a lot more meat on the bone though, and had some really great dramatic moments. This film has got one or two highs, really, you know, dramatic highs, a fantastic fight sequence that comes out of nowhere, and then, but it's just like, what's kind of like, you know, maybe, you know, it's just, there's obviously social commentary here about a world without women and how men would react to that, and how, you know, the few women that were left, how, you know, what would happen to them. There's also, it could be an apology movie from, you know, from Affleck's behaviour in I'm Not Really Here. I think that's the name of the film anyway, that he did with Joaquin Phoenix. So it's like, not, you know, it's just very slight, and I thought, you know, the big themes that were kind of apparent in the film weren't explored fully enough, and it is quite a boring film. It's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna float anyone's boat, you know, who just likes, you know, normal enjoyable movies. It's nothing, and I'm not sure what was there for the art house crowd either. You know, it's kind of it felt like a, you know, inferior version of Leave No Trace, to be honest. So yeah, it's a kind of a 2.5 star for me, but I wouldn't personally recommend it. So rewatch time. I decided for my rewatch film this week or this fortnight for Easter Sunday. What else but The Last Temptation of Christ from 1988. Martin Scorsese, obviously, with an incredible cast. Willem Dafoe, Harvey Keitel. Got the Criterion again, so again an amazing transfer of an old film. Don't know how they do it. I'm sure it looks like 4K to me. I said before. The booklet, lots of extras. Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favourite kind of Christian films, if you will, depictions of the gospel. It's a film that I know had a lot of Christians scratching their head, and it was very controversial when it first came out. I never thought it was controversial. It was obviously a film that is not 100% based on the Gospels, but a lot of it is about what went on in Christ's head, what his temptations that he had, what he wanted to do, what he could have done, what he didn't do. So I just found it, a fascinating depiction of Christ on celluloid, and brilliantly annoying and head scratching as well. There's lots of scenes in the film you're not quite sure, well, that's not in the Bible, or why are they doing that? And it's a film that when you watch multiple times, it becomes more and more apparent what the author or the director is getting at. You've got this effortlessly showy direction by Martin Scorsese, where he puts his stamp on it with his incredible technical brilliance and makes the film like really wonderful as a piece of art to look at, totally engaging all the time. The score is fantastic. So it's, yeah, I mean, I'm sure again a lot of people have seen it, but I thought it was an obvious rewatch for Easter time. And and again, if you're going to watch it again, try and get hold of the Criterion. It's a UK Criterion as well, so you might be able to pick it up cheap. Korea, South Korea anyway. Always a safe place for me. Very rarely see any bad Korean movies. I decided on, my algorithm decided on Little Forest from 2018. This was a blind buy for me, actually. I bought the big box set beauty from Megabox, and I also got the plain archive CD soundtrack. Next up will be the photo book when finances allow. But yeah, I had a feeling about this film just by looking at the artwork and the packaging, which it's a bit of a second sense I have. This starred Kim Kari, who was in The Handmaiden and 1987, which I haven't seen yet. She was wonderful in this film. This film to me was the ultimate comfort movie. So I thought Patterson was the ultimate comfort movie, and then this came along. What you have here is lots and lots of scenes of food being prepared. You have lots of scenes of the outdoors, farming, living in rural areas, that kind of stuff, which I always find interesting. My introduction to world cinema was Jean de Florette, and I have a kind of a private fantasy about living out in the wild, just for a few weeks, obviously. But films like Jean de Florette, Into the Wild, really appeal to me somehow, and this film ticked that box massively. Also, it's got lots of lovely scenes of friends enjoying their time together, having a drink, and so it's elements of films that appeal to me. And Kim Curry is just wonderful in this film. She's going to be, already is a fantastic actress and been in some great movies, but she is one to watch out for. She's a young actress, so she's got a long way to go, but yeah, she really made this film, gave it this extra element to it. And yeah, it's just stunning to look at. It's a film that you can just, watch and enjoy and love. And it's also got some really nice kind of backstory about a mother and daughter relationship, which is kind of secondary really to the action, which is the the food being prepared. It's hard to explain a film that becomes very individual, and you know, it was charming, it was lovely, it was beautiful, it was all of that stuff. So, you know, maybe not every 55-year-old man's dream, but to me, I just thought it was a wonderful, wonderful film. And it was digitally shot, so the images were crisp and sharp and gorgeous. And yeah, high rewatch value. Absolutely loved this film. Couldn't give it 5 stars because it's not got enough, you know, it's just a very slight film. It's almost like a mellow, dramatic feel to it. But personally, I absolutely loved it. I think it is a well-respected film as well, and I think it's put Kim Curry on the map for Korean cinema for sure. That's the end of my part 1 video, and I will post another video in a few days' time with the rest of my film choices. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe and look after yourself. Cheers.